Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Today, we have three special guests: respected attorney Pradeep Ji Gharat, Nidhi Kukreja, and Prakash Kukreja. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah. So, viewers, before we start, I must give you an introduction to respected Pradeep Gharatji, because everybody already knows about him, but I'd give a brief about him because he's been handling some of the top cases. So, he is a senior advocate and has fought numerous important and high profile cases. The Salman Khan hit and run case and the midday senior reporter J. Day murder case were some among the few. Now, Pradeep P is a native of Alibag and a very soft spoken special public prosecutor who secured life imprisonment for 9 men accused in the senior journalist J. Day's murder case. A seasoned advocate who's known not to raise his voice during court arguments, has a long history of success in his over 2 decades long legal career. Gharat for the first time in Maharashtra's judicial history, used video conferencing to record evidence in the infamous stamp paper scam involving Abdul Karim Telgi. He was also the SPP appointed in the first case involving pirates who were arrested in 2000 by the Yellow Gate police. He argued and secured conviction for 19 Indonesian nationals. Speaking to media, Gharat, who also got conviction for Salman Khan in the hit and run case, in which the actor was later acquitted by the High Court, said, "I simply do my job. For me, each case is important. In each case, the victims of their family members rely on the prosecution to get justice for them. This is the motivation that drives me to do my job as a prosecutor in all sincerity." In around 30 high profile cases he is represented, Gharatji has got life imprisonment for 25 convicts. It is not about the convict sentence or the number of years he is given behind bars. That should be important. Every punishment matters in the larger interest of justice and society. We thank you, sir, for being present with us. We know how busy you are.
My pleasure.
Yes, and today, for friends who are not familiar with the case, Jhanvi Kukreja case, a little brief before we continue with the questions. In 2021, on a very extremely sad note for the Kukrejas, they woke up to the news of the brutal killing of their 19-year-old daughter, Jhanvi Kukreja, on January 1st. On December 31st, Diya and Shri and Jhanvi, three friends, were at Diya's house for a party, as it was Jhanvi's father, Prakash Kukreja's birthday as well. They went over to Jhanvi's house to celebrate it. Later, Diya requested Jhanvi's parents to let her go to another party at Yash's house. She told them that they will come back in a few hours. Jhanvi's parents initially did not want to let Jhanvi go, but on Diya's insistence, they allowed her. The party was at the terrace of Bhagwati Heights in Khar. They were among 10 people who attended the party. Some of the partygoers were from Jhanvi's building itself. At around 11:30 p.m., the three reached Bhagwati Heights apartment, which is a 14-story building. The party was hosted by their friend Yash Ahuja, who lives on the second floor of the same building. According to the police, the murder happened anytime between 1:30 and 2 a.m. It was not until 6 a.m. that the murder was discovered. Officers at the crime scene said a woman from the building was walking a dog when she saw blood dripping from the staircase. By this time, the party was still going on, and the murder went unnoticed as people used the lift and did not use stairs to go up and down. When the police reached the rooftop, they found alcohol bottles and people in the party inebriated. Jhanvi was taken to Baba Hospital, and she had died before her parents could reach the hospital. The organizer of the party revealed that Jagdankar and Padalkar fought with Jhanvi. Police suspect that the fight may have been caused by Jhanvi accusing Jagdankar of cheating on her with Padalkar. This has been clearly negated by Nidhi Kukreja, that there was anything going on between these three people. The fight turned violent with Jagdankar and Padalkar hitting Jhanvi. At 2:30 a.m., Jhanvi left the rooftop after a heated argument with her, according to the media, boyfriend, but it was not so. However, after allegedly killing her, Jogdankar and Pradankar returned to the party, which led the others attending the party to think that Janvi had gone home. Dia also had dinner and went off to sleep at Yash's house. According to the investigation, Janvi was allegedly brutally assaulted by the accused Sri, and from the fifth floor, the fight reached the second floor. Here, Janvi's head was banged on the railing of the staircase. The cops suspect the accused might have been dragged to the ground floor or thrown from the second floor to the ground. Police said there were bloodstains on the staircase, and experts collected samples to ascertain the bloodstain as all three youths were bleeding. When the evidence points clearly that Janvi was assaulted on the second floor, the evidence like Janvi's one footwear was found on the fifth floor and the other on the ground floor, suggesting that the teenager was manhandled on the fifth floor as well. And her earring was found lying on the fifth floor, and clumps of hair were also found on the steps. The distraught mother of the deceased claimed that the incident took place at 1:40 a.m. on Thursday, and she was only informed about it at 5 a.m. Parents of another person present at the party informed the victim's family, as Jhanvi's parents said that most people had fled the crime scene. The mother said the daughter's life could have been saved had anybody informed her about the incident. This is what happened, and ever since that, the parents have been living a nightmare. And they also have a 15-year-old daughter who's also been undergoing this. Today, sir, I wanted to ask you some questions regarding, the bail that has been refused to Sri Jogdankar, which is a small bit of positive news that we heard, this year, other than the Mahavikas Aghadi falling as well. So here, what I wanted to ask you is, in light of this evolving case, in what timeline can we expect the accused behind the bars? How long will it be before he, applies for another bail?
In our legal system, trials, we have two principles. Suppose if the accused is in custody, then the trial is expedited. If they
Yes.
are on bail, then it takes time. So
Yes.
now, since he is in custody, the trial will be expedited. Already, it has been kept for framing charges. That
Yes.
means the first step in the case is to ask the accused as to whether he pleads guilty to the offense. If he said yes, then he is
Yeah.
convicted. But if he says no, then he has the right to be tried, and
Okay.
he claims to be tried.
Okay.
And thereafter, the summonses are issued and the witnesses are called before
Yeah.
the court. So the witnesses, as per charge sheet, give the
Yeah.
evidence before the court on oath. But the accused has every right to get it rebutted, to get it falsified, to
Okay.
raise the question about the trustworthiness, the truth in the deposition. So,
Yeah.
in that way, when the witnesses will come before the court, they will be examined.
Yeah.
Thereafter, the next stage will be the accused will be asked as to what he wants to say about
Yeah.
the evidence which has come against him. And
Yes.
thereafter, he would be asked whether he would like to examine any
Hmm.
witness in his defense.
Okay.
So, if he says yes and if he produces his witnesses,
Yeah.
then it takes some time. And
Yeah.
thereafter, the court hears the final arguments in the matter. And on the
Okay.
basis of the final arguments, the court weighs and balances and thereafter appreciates the evidence and gives the verdict.
Yeah. So, sir, for example, if he is refused bail the second time as well, does he have the option of approaching the Supreme Court?
Yes, definitely. It's the right of the accused to reach the Honorable Supreme Court. And so far as the present High Court is concerned, now
Yeah.
the doors of the accused to
Mhm.
pray again for the bail
Mhm.
he
Yes, sir.
cannot make another bail application unless and until there is change in circumstance.
Okay.
Like if the trial takes time beyond the reasonable period, then he can approach again for the court and he can satisfy the court about other things. But now the only remedy left to him is to approach the Honorable Supreme Court and to see
Okay.
if the Supreme Court gives him the bail.
Okay. So, as per the ongoing arguments, like which happened in court and which were put forward by Satish Manishinde, was the judge not convinced, and why did she consider it not important to give him bail? What went wrong there?
See, since inception, they have kept on changing the stands.
Okay.
Every time they take the
Huh.
different stand they take. This time, before the Honorable High Court, Mr. Satish Manishinde took the stand that the main culprit is the co-accused Dia.
Yeah.
He was the intervener. He was trying to intervene. He was trying to stop that scuffle. And finally, in an attempt to save Jahnavi, he also
Yeah.
came down on the floor along with Jahnavi. And therefore, he
Okay.
had been seen leaving from the door where Jahnavi was lying. So,
Okay.
so far as the court is concerned, while deciding the bail application, court
Yes.
has to see as to whether prima facie case is there because this offense of murder
Yes.
is punishable with death or life imprisonment.
Yeah.
And of course, they try to show the another line of argument that this is not the murder.
Hmm.
The elements of murder, that means
Yeah.
intention or knowledge, are not there. That is what
Okay.
his submission. This has happened at the spur of the moment, and intention
Okay.
was not to kill or murder. That was their
Hmm.
stand.
Yeah.
However, it was shown to the court that the intention can be developed at that point of time also. And the important
Okay.
evidence in this case is that the photographs are shown to show the height
Yeah.
of the railings. So the
Yes.
height of the railings is such that the theory of accidental fall stands ruled out. The person will
Okay.
come down only if that person is thrown. So
Yes.
therefore, the court believed the theory that she was thrown from that on the rail, from the railings on the floor, from the second floor of
Yeah.
the building.
I see. So, from
Moreover,
your own,
yes,
yes. Yes. No, please continue, sir.
huh,
Please continue.
moreover,
Yeah.
moreover, the evidence is such that except these three, no person was there. It cannot be said by any means that anybody had come or gone because the
Hmm.
CCTV footage of the ground floor is there. So
Yeah.
outsiders are not seen to have come.
Yeah.
Secondly, Jahnavi had no such enmity or rivalry with any person in the building. Otherwise, she would not have been called for the part.
Yes.
So that theory also stood rule out. And
Yeah.
these three were there, and the incident had happened. Is accepted by the court.
Yeah. Sir, from your own experience, you've handled so many cases. Tell us what is your what is your feeling on what happened that night? Are you able to speak about it, or if you're not, it's fine. You can tell.
See, as the advocates, we have to judge the circumstances
Yes.
by our robust common sense.
Yes.
Here, if you see that every witness says that these three persons, Chandavi, Dia, and Shri, were sitting on the staircase of 8th floor.
Yes.
Thereafter, they went down. And it is always
Yes.
said that the man may lie, but the circumstances do not.
Yeah.
Therefore, we have to assess the circumstances which are in existence or which are existing there. So, the
Yeah.
circumstances as are there, which are we see from the photograph, are that from the 5th floor till the 8th floor, at 2, 3 places, there are the pools of blood. Thereafter,
Yes.
her hair was pulled
Yes.
and
Clumps
is
of hair.
lying
Yeah.
on the on the staircase, on those this thing railings,
Yes.
everywhere. So any person, particularly the ladies, to
Hmm.
come out the hair out,
Hmm.
we have to imagine as to what type of force, what type of violence
Yes.
must have been used. Even under
Yes.
the ordinary circumstances, even if one pulls the hair of another, even if
Yeah.
that person is bowed till the
Yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
hair do not come out.
come
But
out.
here
Yes,
in this case, we have to imagine the force which has been used, the
yes,
blood which has been come because of this scuffle amongst them, and
yeah.
thereafter that theory of throwing gun.
Also, sir, it was reported that I think around 45 to 46 stab wounds were found in her
48,
body. 48, yes.
48
Yes.
injuries were found. During
Yeah.
the ordinary
So,
scuffle, such type of injuries do not happen.
yes.
So it was a very violent attack.
Yeah. So, police have also said that, see, there was alcohol served and there was a drug peddler as well there. So, do you think that, see, this mix of cocktail of these could have created such a violent behavior in these people to
It's
manhandle
a
her?
very that is the very bad side of this story. However, whatever whether point is, they had lost their senses
Yes.
while killing Jhanvi.
Yeah.
In some, see, even though they plead that we did not know what had happened, but
Mhm.
intentionally they were lying is the fact which has been proved.
Yeah.
Because when Shri went to hospital, he gave the excuse that he had fallen on the road at mine. And the
Yes.
timing which he gave, 12:30, at that time he was in Bhagwati Heights.
Okay.
Similarly, when this another lady, Dia, also suffered the injury on her lips, it was a bleeding injury. It was a big cut. She
Yes.
also told the people who asked her that
Yeah.
she does not know the cause of her injury.
Yes.
So therefore, they were lying is the thing. If they
Yeah.
so our prosecution case is that if they were not conscious, how can they lie? How can they give uh, reasonable excuses for their absence or for causing the injuries to their person?
Yes.
So they were not. We can't say that they were not such senses that did not understand the repercussions of what they were doing. The whole case does not go in that field.
Yeah. So, so, sir, the main person who should have been cross-questioned was apparently Yash, the host, who has seen everything that had happened. Is that was that also done in the process?
See, so far as these persons are concerned, all the boys or girls, they were really interrogated.
Yes.
Everything has was tried to be taken out by the police from them. And so far as
Mm.
they were concerned, uh, they had the party, but nobody expected that such thing will happen. At that time, only the reason is that these three came together:
Yeah.
Jahnavi, Dia, and Sri. And after Sri made the sexual moves in that party after getting drunk, and therefore
Yeah.
Jahnavi had objected for that. That was the point of starting quarrel for them. So nobody expected this, and nobody is expected to know also, because these people were in the staircase, all were, as you said, all were coming and going up by lift, and
Yes.
in between the only contact
Yeah.
was when Dia went to the bedroom of Yash, and when she was profusely bleeding. So at that
Yes.
time, everybody was trying to stop the blood which was oozing.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
that time, the blood was found on the chaddar, on the bed pillow. So that
Mm.
is a very valuable evidence because the blood of Jahnavi was also, stains of
Yeah.
Jahnavi's blood were also found on the pillow and which and on the person of these two, Sri
Yeah.
and Dia.
Yeah. So it's very strange that in a multi-story building like Bhagwati Heights, when all the screaming and screaming with pain and violence was happening, none of the neighbors knew that this such a situation is happening, and nobody came out.
That is another sad part of the story because the party was going on in the terrace and
Yeah.
they were playing DJ. So
Yes.
sound must have been very loud. But only
Ah.
when Jahnavi fell down, one of the residents, that means the servant in one of the flats,
Yeah.
she heard
Ah.
the voice of or something falling. That was the only evidence. Otherwise, nobody was nobody since expected such type of incident, they might have neglected
To
it
happen.
as an ordinary fight between them. So they did not pay attention and they
No.
did not expect. Because even after the
Okay.
CCTV shows that dog started barking and they went there and they saw Jhanvi lying
Yeah.
in the pool, they were seemed to be shocked and surprised.
Yeah.
So nobody
Yeah.
expected this. That is, we can say. Otherwise, there are no. The sound could not be any quarrel could not be heard. Voice could not be heard because of that DJ. And everybody
Also,
in the
sir.
flat, I think,
Yes.
the flat
Yes.
owners were having party at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, sir, why did the police take the body of Jhanvi to the hospital without informing the parents about it? Any idea, sir, what happened there?
See, the duty of the police, first and foremost, is to save the
Yes.
life. So
Yeah.
therefore, without thinking of other things, it was
Mm.
very urgent and essential for them to remove her to the hospital. So
Okay.
that suppose if chances could have been there, she could have been saved.
Mm.
But that is the first and prominent duty of the police or of
Okay.
anybody as per the Supreme Court judgment, even in accident cases. If we see
Okay.
somebody injured, the first and
Okay.
foremost part is to take that person to the hospital.
Yeah. So when I was reading about the report about the bail being refused, apparently when the pictures were shown to the judge, something transpired where the judge, I think, felt a little emotional. And could you just explain that scene to us?
Sorry, what is your
See,
question?
when the photographs of Janvi's death
Yes,
were shown to the
yes,
judge,
right.
apparently the judge was a little sort of disturbed by them. That's according to the report that has come, the news report. What happened at that time, sir?
See, hello,
Yes,
can you
yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
Huh. So we are not, the judge was apprised of the facts.
yes,
The judge was apprised of the severity of the attack
yes, yes,
because the thin line was there with whether intention was there,
yeah,
knowledge was there, or was
yes,
it was it a mere accident? So
yes,
just to satisfy the court, the
yeah,
nature of injuries get important. Had it
yeah,
been a case of a simple fight and falling from the railing, he was
yes,
entitled to bail. However, to
yeah,
show the gravity,
yes,
the nature of grievous injuries which had been suffered, unless until a person is beaten to a severe extent, such type of injuries are not possible. So
yes,
only
yes.
for that purpose, the photographs were shown that in what
Yes.
way the event can happen, not to disturb the judge emotionally.
No, I didn't mean
Yes.
disturb. What I meant was
Huh.
the photographs could be, make a person a bit emotional. That's what I meant.
Therefore, I cannot comment on the same. It depends.
Yeah, okay. So another point that I wanted to raise, sir, is that, see, at this time, Nidhi Kukreja's young daughter, 15-year-old daughter, was also present at the proceeding. And this
Right.
is something, yeah, a small child, very rarely witnesses. So this was a very, very difficult period for her and her parents watching the
Right.
proceedings of a sister who has been gruesomely murdered. So, on that point, what would you say? With regards to that,
Right.
the children in
After all,
yeah,
she is in her tender age.
yes,
And after all, she is in a tender age. So strictly,
yes,
if you ask me, she should not have been brought where the arguments were going on. Because if she understands English well. So she knows as to what is going on, what type of
Yes.
attack on her sister. Even I am not
Yes.
inclined to discuss about the incident with the parents because I am the
Yes.
prosecutor. I am
Mm.
appointed to prove the guilt of the accused.
Yeah.
I am impartial. I am neither on the side of the parents of the family, neither on the side of accused. I am working for the state and I have to prove the offense. That is only my job. But
Yes.
considering the human feelings, I am of the view that at type of such hearings, the parents should not come. Even in the Salman Khan case also, I did not like the parents once had come to the court because
Mm.
you are well aware that we have to fight there.
Yes.
Certain things, the things which are not known to the family, may also
Yeah.
come to their knowledge. If you say that the
Yes.
person like a judge also gets disturbed by
Yeah.
looking it to the photograph,
Yeah. Yeah.
such things should not happen or such things should not be seen by the person because time is the best medicine for them. They have to try to forget the incident, but definitely the culprits or offenders should be taught a lesson.
So, in your experience, your vast experience, you would have witnessed many such cases like what is happening to Sri Jagdankar. Now, could you tell us, from your experience, where is this case heading towards?
See, as I said earlier, we don't know exactly as to what has happened. The fact which we have to accept is that the unfortunate girl was found lying on the floor in the pool of blood. So, what must have happened is to be found out by the police. It is their duty to investigate and find out the offenders and make them stand to face the trial. It is their duty that they have the investigation they have done. So far as the court is concerned, these are all allegations against them. They may be the offenders or they may be innocent. We can't say because we take it as the story of the prosecution. But now, as I earlier said, the matter will go to the stage of trial. At that time, those persons, those witnesses will come before the court and depose every fact which is to their knowledge.
Yeah.
And this is the case which is based on circumstantial evidence.
Yes.
So the basic principle for the trial under our law is to that the case should be proved beyond all reasonable doubts.
Yeah.
And every chain in the incident must stand true.
Yeah.
Because if we lose any link, the case fails.
Yeah.
Therefore, we have to take very precaution while the trial will proceed to prove every fact for which the accused will not be successful in rebutting those facts.
So
Yes.
I don't know whether what I say next, whether you can comment on it or not, but let me just tell you a few things that I see, what I have seen in the past few years, what is happening in Maharashtra. And these police have also been caught and now I'm talking about people like Paramveer Singh and Wazir. And the person who reached the spot when Jhanvi Kukreja was dead, it was a person called Trimukhe. Now, Trimukhe is a a person of very doubtful character because in most cases people do not trust him, and it seemed like the police were all a part of a certain chain of like a cabal. And the things that were happening, for example, in the case of Sushant Singh Rajput, they were covering up the evidences, and the Bihar police had to be brought in to do another investigation, finally, which went to CBI. The same was the case in Disha Salian also. The evidence was covered. First, they said that it was a suicide, that she had jumped out of the flat, when actually she was killed and allegedly raped. And there were witnesses to that, according to certain BJP members as well. Now, so as a commoner or a journalist, whatever we've been reading now till now, is that in Maharashtra, in the state of Mumbai, Maharashtra and Mumbai, police have not worked in the interest of the public. And in this case also, perhaps if Jhanvi died at around 12:30 or 1 o'clock, then why were the parents only informed about it at 5 or so, 5 a.m.? And what happened in between that time, during that time? Were they covering up the crime? What happened exactly? So these are the doubts that would come into the mind of the public and the people like us who are investigating the case. So, sir, I don't know whether you can comment on that, but could you tell us a little bit about
See, I don't know how the case will be developed or will shape up.
it? Yeah,
At this juncture, I can say only that I don't find any delay on
yeah,
the part of police in making the booth because they have done everything, including they have also, uh, 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 so far as the hospital is concerned, so far as arrest of the accused persons is concerned, so far as the recording of the statements of the witness is concerned, they have done. There may be some lapses on the part of Trimuke who went there and who is the first informant because his
yes,
complaint has been recorded. That is
yes,
also the good thing done by the police because complaint is the only document which is available to us
yeah,
for the purpose of corroborating our evidence.
yeah,
Otherwise, all the statements which are recorded are always favor the accused in defense because if
yes,
anything contradictory is found, the accused take the benefit of it. And so far as the allegations or the grievance of the common people is there, for that courts are there, for that prosecutors are there. So far as I am concerned, I minutely go through all these lapses and
yes,
lacunae
yes,
which are found during the course of investigation. I get myself satisfied from the police officer. Suppose if the lapses are the result of incompetence, we can spare. But
yes,
however, if we find the lapses are intentional or
yeah,
there are some attempts to try to save the accused, then it
yes,
becomes very sure. And
yes,
therefore, when the trial, since the trials which all you have referred,
yeah,
it is our duty to see that these of such offending or uh, such police officers who are failing in their duties are brought to book.
yeah,
So if you recollect in Telugu stamp cases, the
yes,
police officers from the rank of the commissioner of police were also arrested
yes,
in the cases
mm,
which cases they had
yes,
investigated. The point also
mm,
arose that
mm,
whether the police officers who investigate the cases can be tried
yes,
along with the accused person.
yeah,
However,
mm,
our stand that they should be tried along with the accused
yeah,
was accepted even by the Honorable Supreme Court. And I am very glad to inform you that in 3 cases, the police officers were convicted along with the
yeah,
original accused person.
yeah,
So law does not spare anybody. See, because the police
yeah,
officers give the evidence in the court as to what they have done. And thereafter, the other side, the defense advocates, do the postmortem.
yeah,
They bring every failure, every lapse, every
yeah,
lacunae which has been committed by the police officer on record. And for
yeah,
that, if the
yeah,
honorable judge pleases to pass the strictures against them, they are
yeah,
punishable. The
yeah.
action is always taken against them.
So
Cognizance is
also,
taken of such strictures by the state.
yeah. So also
Yes,
there was some cases that the drugs that are being used now are not the original ones. They are synthetic drugs, and these are sent to India to test it, and it comes from places like China, where they send it out for testing, and they test it out on people who do not who are not aware of it, and the repercussions of these synthetic drugs are very violent. people can become very violent using these drugs. Now, these are things that I could get from Samir Wankade, who was the NCB, zonal director. So he was saying that the drugs have gone become much more advanced, and apparently there were some cases where certain children died in a similar fashion in Mumbai. So, do you think that there could be some, sort of this sort of angle to the case where they were trying this out on a very gullible, simple teenagers who were not aware of what was happening?
See, in these cases, the parent should be very much watchful, because these peddlers, they are not concerned that they are destroying the whole generation.
Yes.
They are not concerned. They are concerned only about the business. And sufficient laws are there to punish them once they are caught. However, every parent has to take the care of their. So, what should be kept on the children by the parents as to what they are doing, where they go, who are their friends, and the discipline should be maintained. If suppose they come home late, they go late, the parents should be watchful as to where their child. Otherwise, there is no measure. You cannot stop everything. Only except that if such instances surface, then to punish the offender. Beyond that, you can't do anything.
Also, sir, an extension to that same point. Uh, what also Samir Vankareji told us was that these children actually work as peddlers and make a lot of money on these drugs, and they use it for having a lavish lifestyle by holidaying outside, using this money to have a lavish lifestyle. So perhaps in this group of 10 children, there was someone in that group. It could be anybody, it could be the host, it could be anybody who was actually peddling drugs, to make extra money to have a lavish lifestyle. So would this angle also come into question?
Definitely, I think it was investigated by the police. But what happens? Therefore, I said that the parents should be very watchful, because we know as to how much money, pocket money, we give to our children.
Yes.
So, under such circumstances, if the uh, child starts spending the money
Yeah.
more than the pocket money, then
Yes.
definitely parents should be watchful and ask to from where, what is the source, from where this money comes to them. So they should be very watchful, because these things we come to know. Because suppose I will give you the example of a corrupt officer, public
Yes.
servant. Suppose if he has the salary of 60,000, and if he spends daily 10,000, 15,000, like that, he goes to ladies' bars, he goes to drinking houses, he plays other gamblings, these things. Then, under such circumstances, if he comes late, then wives should be very much watchful in this. Where he goes, what he does, if he spends the money, from where the money comes, or if he brings the money house, the wife should know as to what is the income of her husband and from where he brings this money. So it is the family job to keep watch on the other family member. And the same is the case with the children. Who are their friends? Where do they go? From where the money comes which they spend? If they go to the hotels, if they go to the pubs, if they go to the bar, from where that money comes for this lavish style? Why they should be allowed to go during the night times? Suppose even if they go for picnics on the tours, then also the parents should, because see, it may happen that 4 or 5 girlfriends may come and say, send your daughter along with us. We are going. Who knows who is going along with them thereafter? So what should be kept of all these things if we do not want to spoil the generation?
Yeah. So, sir, what I meant was, so in this
Sorry,
could
I
be
can't hear.
connected. Yeah.
Sorry,
So what
hello,
I'm saying,
sorry. Sorry, you are not
yeah,
audible properly.
yeah. So what I meant was that, see,
Still, you are not audible. Some problem sound.
Yeah, can you hear me?
No,
No.
some sound
Uh,
problem is there.
can you hear me, Nidhi?
Yes, I can hear you.
The same problem, both
Uh,
sides.
oh, you can't hear Nidhi also?
You can hear us?
No, I can't hear you. It's getting.
So perhaps your link, your earphone, can you just check it?
I don't know what is the problem because your mic only. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
I
we
can
can
hear you
hear you.
We
properly.
can hear you, sir.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Not clear.
Okay. So just a few more questions. One is that see, Nidhi and husband are very sort of relieved after a very long time at the news of the bail being
No sound. I
rejected.
can't follow you. I can't follow you.
Can you hear Nidhi? Can you hear Nidhi?
Yes, I can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know because I don't think there's a problem from my end. Mm. So can you just rejoin again, sir? Can you rejoin? Sir, can you rejoin? One second, sir. Yeah.
Some problem with.
Yeah. Can you just rejoin, sir? Can you rejoin, sir? Rejoin?
Still voice
Yeah, sir, can
sound
you
is
rejoin? Can you just rejoin?
lit, little bit, but I can't hear you. I don't understand what you say. It's just
Yeah, I'm just
banging. The
calling
voice
you.
is banging.
Yeah, yeah, I'll just call you.
No, just banging voice comes. Shall we reconnect?
Yeah, please reconnect. Yes, yes. Please reconnect. Sir, please reconnect. Please reconnect.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah, please reconnect, sir. Yeah, so Nidhi, I'll just wait for him to join.
Yes, yes.
So, Nidhi, could you tell us your feelings, yours and your husband's feelings about hearing this news? Welcome to both of you, and I'm very glad
Thank
to
you.
see both of you. A little less tense.
Yes, very much. We were really very worried, what would
Prakash, you can
happen in the
come
High
a
Court
little more
because,
closer. Yeah,
yeah,
a little more
because,
closer. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, a
because
little more, so I can see his face. Yeah,
yes, after Dia got bail, we were actually
yeah,
not very happy with that decision.
yes,
And then when this guy tried in High Court,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Now
Yes,
I
sir.
can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
So, sir,
okay.
I'm just asking Nidhi and her husband, how do they feel after hearing about the bail being rejected?
No, no,
Yes.
we are very, we can't share our emotions,
Yeah.
and we've been in the court every single session, we've been there, so we've seen sir fighting it and how he's been doing his arguments. So we were really, I mean, I would say we are blessed to have him because we've seen, I know, when sir said that he's not comfortable with parents coming, because I
Yeah.
understand a lot of things which come out as parents.
Yes,
It's not easy for us, we break down in the court and all that, but as
Yes.
parents we are also restless, and we
Right.
don't know what
Yeah.
is happening and what's going on,
What
and
is
we are
the
so restless,
process?
so we want to see, because we don't know what has happened.
yeah,
We are still clueless because nobody is speaking. This is like a question mark. So we sit in the. I haven't not missed one hearing. Sir knows
yeah,
that. So when I see Sir,
Yeah.
the way he argues and the way he fights and everything to the point and very politely and to the point, there we get a satisfaction. Ki, yes, we have the right person and he is there for us and for the state, because it's state versus, because state doesn't want such criminals, they don't want such crime to happen. So he's fighting for the state. So we are, when we see him, we sit, we have of course become a little more composed than before, because now we are rest assured, if we are in sir's
Good
hand,
hands. Yeah.
we are definitely going to get justice. Because I don't think as a mother I must have missed any argument of my any thing of my child. I keep on asking sir has been so
Kind to us.
kind to
Yes.
us, and every question, he's such a busy man, but whenever we ask
Exactly.
him,
Yes.
sir ab kya hua, does Diya come to the court, because Diya's appearance have also started. She used to give some her appearance in the court, so we ask him very patiently. He gives us all the answers
Yes,
to
very
our
much so.
questions.
He's basically he's God sent to us actually. For us, it's like
Thank you for the compliment.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Pradeep
you
ji,
for the compliment.
because I've heard so much, and I was reading about you, and we are all admiration for people like you, who are fighting not only for justice but also showing us that, see, in this sort of chaos, there are some people we can sort of emulate and look forward to hearing from, because justice comes from them.
Because Meena ji, we as parents, we are backstabbed by people we knew, people who
Yes.
were with us, like
Yeah.
Diya Padalkar's parents. They
Yes.
are our neighbors. They never
Hmm.
stood for us, and there is this man who's with us. I mean, I cannot share my emotions. I cannot share those people who we live up to. Sir was just telling that we should monitor the children. We monitored our child. But how, if we can't trust a childhood friend, the girl who grew up in our house, Dia grew up in our house, she was in my house more than a how do we know what is going on in the child's mind?
Yes.
We always monitored
See,
Janvi, extra thing also, we were extra careful. She never went out like that. Now, what was conspiring in that child's mind, and what her parents didn't monitor her, how would we know?
Yeah. She
please,
became a
may I
victim.
disturb?
Yeah.
Just I want to say one thing.
Yes, please, sir.
Uh, yeah, this case, this is something different.
Yeah, this
There
that's
was a
exactly.
general question from you about the children
Yes, I
and about,
agree with you
yeah,
that the
Yeah.
parents have to
yeah,
monitor.
about the
Today it is very
vices
necessary.
developed
Yes.
among the children. So
No, I am
therefore,
just,
I say that the parents.
yes,
Yeah.
It is
I
your
agree with
case is
you. But
totally different.
yes,
The
but
events
sir,
which
what
have
about
taken
parents
place.
like, no? What about parents like us who have always monitored our child, always put in values? This peer pressure has become so much, Meena ji and sir,
Yeah.
that parents like us are suffering today. What do we do when we put principles
Right.
in our children? And she was focused, she was a studious, if you see her record, she was a studious child, she was a 95% student, her energies were in studies. But how do we know what goes on in the opposite persons? And we have sent her to somebody's house,
Yeah.
trusting somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if the hosts are not
Right.
responsible, if you are coming to my house, sir or Meena ji, if I'm coming to your house, you are responsible that I've
Yes.
eaten well,
Yeah.
कि निधि जी ने कुछ खाना खाया कि नहीं. We take care, no, even a small
Yes.
Ganpati puja or anything. So why
Yeah.
was the host and the parents not
Exactly.
aware what the children are doing? There,
Yeah.
I agree with you, sir, that the parents have to be responsible. How they have left the children up, they are drinking, doing drugs, and they are not aware. Parents like us have the right to ask these parents, what are you all doing? You all just leave the children. So what if they are 20? For parents, children will always remain children even when they are 40.
They should note the change in behavior of the children,
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
because
So
the
I blame
drugs
those
or
parents. Yes,
alcohol definitely affects. That is what is my view. Definitely affects the conduct and behavior of the child
I
while
agree with
behaving
you.
with the others in the family also.
And
Yes.
when you're inviting other children home, you have to be
Ah,
responsible that the children are safe.
Yeah.
If one of the supervisors or one of the parents should have been in the
exactly.
party, I think so. This should have not have
Yeah.
ever
Not
happened.
have happened. Yes.
It would not happen. One responsible parent would have been over there. I think
Yes.
so. Either of
Definitely.
the yeah
Even the
See
generation is
here, I'll
speaking
just make
from.
one interruption,
yeah
Pradeep ji. See, I have a feeling, again, see, this is my journalistic mind.
Yes.
Earlier, see, the three friends were called to Yash's house, and then they came back. Okay, they came back to her house, and Janvi did not want to go again. But it was Diya Padalkar who forced her to go there again. So I think that in between this time, there was some planning that would have happened in Yasha's house to, make such a situation where they can test the drug or where they can do all this. So some planning has happened in between, which these, the young girl was unaware of, and she would have walked into a trap.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
This was the natural course of events, and the things have happened in the way they had happened. See, nobody expected this, but from the facts which I read from the paper, I presume that this Dia and Shri had started developing the intimacy prior to this event only.
So,
Because now
but
I
this
have
is
to open
so,
my
but this
mouth.
is something,
The CCTV,
but this is something that the police would have
and
told you.
Jahnavi did not take any precaution in this respect, because when we saw that CCTV footage, when they
Yeah.
come
Ah,
on the motorcycle, Shri was driving, Dia
yeah.
was sitting in between,
Yeah.
and Jahnavi was sitting on the pillion seat.
Behind.
So these
Yes.
things, yeah, and thereafter when they were drunk, they were drinking beer, and they were also consuming the alcohol also. So that in that excitement, this Shri started developing intimacy, started making sexual moves with Dia, which was not
Yeah.
tolerated by Jahnavi. So this was
Yeah.
unexpected by anybody, even those people also. And considering their culture, that might be common for them also. Therefore,
So,
nobody
but,
paid any heed to
so,
what was
but,
going on.
yeah, sir. But was this something that they saw on CCTV footage?
See, ground floor CCTV footage is there.
Yeah, but this part is
This part,
somebody's
therefore, the
hearsay. Hearsay.
watchman sitting on the stool there, the entry of these three from the outside gate, the way they were sitting, thereafter this Dia, she also bumped on another fellow who was standing there to wish him. So all these
Yeah.
things which had happened on the ground there are seen, and post events were seen also, post
I see.
incident events.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever has happened
So,
at the ground floor could be seen.
yeah. Sir, now if, for example, the case is going very smoothly as per what what is actually happening, and these two are found guilty, how much time would it take, sir, before this happens?
As I said, everything depends upon how the case shapes up and develops, because we have the witnesses. Suppose if there are 10 witnesses, the boys and girls. As the prosecutor, I have to see in what manner the evidence of first witness develops. So, generally, to share my secret or our secret, we avoid multiple evidence on a single point because it gives rise to discrepancies and all that.
Yeah.
So, if I find the evidence of first one or two witnesses on a particular point strong, I will
Hmm.
stop there.
Okay.
Suppose if I find that the things which I want to come in the evidence have not come, then I
Hmm.
may examine another witness also.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
depends. So
Ah,
the conclusion of the trial depends on the number of witnesses we examine.
yeah. Yeah.
So lesser the number, the short will be the case.
Yeah. Because Nidhi and her husband need to put an end to this, and they have to get along
Exactly.
with their
See,
life
yeah,
as
we
well.
understand that.
Yeah.
We understand all these things.
Mm.
But see, the offense is punishable with death or life imprisonment.
Yes. Yes.
And therefore the evidence is also viewed by the court strictly, because it
Yeah.
is the question of the life of another person also. So
Yeah.
we should be very cautious not to keep any loophole,
Yeah. Especially when
because
you are
whatever
fighting,
time it takes.
especially when you are
But
fighting
yes,
against with another lawyer who's equally strong.
right, because the lawyers who come against me, who come to defend the accused, they are also knowledgeable, very they are also experts, they have also studied law well. So everybody tries to take the benefit of loopholes and lacunae.
Yeah.
See, because just for the purpose of reference, so far as this offense is concerned, any offense is concerned, and the question of trial comes, the court is not concerned about the morality, because as we say, God is there to give the punishment.
Yeah.
Here, the court always takes into consideration the facts, because when we say
Yeah.
that the particular offense is committed, there are the ingredients of the offense. So we have to satisfy the court that the ingredient stands constituted from the sequence of events. And the court is satisfied, yes, all the ingredients are satisfied. Then only we say that the offense has been committed. Otherwise, from the facts, we cannot say that the offense is committed. Suppose if I want to give an example, killing a person is an offense. Suppose if the police officer shoots a criminal on the orders of his superior, then it is not a murder because he is doing his duty. So that is exempted from the law. But if the person with intention kills another person, that is a murder. So this is the difference. Because facts are the same. Mr. X committed suicide, homicide of Mr. Y. But whether is it an offense or whether it is the part of duty, everything depends on the facts, what way they come out.
Yeah.
So in this
So
also
what-
we have to satisfy the court that intention was there, knowledge was there, accident was not there. So utmost care has to be taken to prove all these things.
So one more last question, sir, before we close the session. Sir, you said there were 48 wounds to her body. So what was the instrument that was used?
There was no instrument was there, but the fierce fight. Just I give you the example of pulling the air. Fierce fight must have been there. She must have been pushed on some iron objects or such objects on hitting which may cause such type of injuries, because even cut injuries are there since the blood has come out. That means the cut injuries were there, abrasions were there. So all this must have been happened in that scuffle, pushing and fighting. So power was used in the fighting. It was very fierce fighting, very violent
Yeah, for a
fighting.
common person like us, it clearly shows that it was a murder.
Yeah. It is the murder because subsequently she was thrown and as a result she died.
Yeah. Nidhi, would you like to say something or before we close the session?
Yes,
Uh,
one thing in that respect, because
Yes.
when the person commits a particular act, if he has intention or if he has knowledge that such act would may result in the death of the person opposite, then it is a murder. Yes. Otherwise, it is an accident or offense punishable with lesser punishment.
But sir,
Culpable
48,
homicide not amounting
yeah,
to
but
murder.
yeah. So, but 48 wounds can't be just an accident.
Exactly the way they fought. Not only the 48 injuries, but the
Yeah.
places, the
Yes.
place on the body at which the injuries caused,
Yeah.
the nature of the injuries.
Yes.
So everything matters.
Yes. So we really hope that in your hands we get justice for this innocent young girl. Uh, for me, she is just like, I have a son, so she could have just been my daughter. And
Right.
yeah, and this period that between the time she died and till today, we are standing with Nidhi and her husband and her family
Right.
because we all want justice, and we are thankful that we have a very respected attorney like yourself, fighting for us, all of us. I mean, we are the public fighting for us, and
One thing
that's
I
the
want to
only
tell,
thing.
one thing I want to tell. See, in these court battles, at
Yes.
least myself, I believe, as Sri Krishna had said in Bhagavad Gita,
Yes.
Karmanye Vadhikaraste.
Yes.
We have to do our duty best.
Yes.
Rest of the things are in the hands of God. He is
Yes.
there to give the justice. But there should not
Yes.
anything which should remain from us to do.
Yeah.
So every attempt will be done
Yeah.
to bring the offenders to justice. Definitely.
So
That much
just
word I can give.
yeah. So from the time she has died till today, whenever we imagine what this young girl would have undergone, you know, it's like a nightmare. If I can't imagine for the parents, even for
Right.
people like us, it's a nightmare. Can you imagine a child undergoing so much of pain and torture? So yes, thank you so much. Your kind words,
Just
what
a
you said
minute.
is so true.
See, every moment we are all human beings which ordeal the parents or therefore when addressing the court, when discussing the matters with some people, if the parents are there, they should not hear such things, or they should not hear everything which we address to the court, because always in our mind we are having while hearing all this. When we visualize everything, it gives the pains to us also. Then what will be the
Yes,
position of the parents
yes. What
who
the
has
parents are.
actually gone through all this?
No, but Meenaji, I want to say something. From day one, I've been in the court and I've been listening to, for us, we are laymen. We haven't been to the
Yes,
court, never heard lawyers, nothing. But every time that I come and I hear them, arguing and sir arguing, every day is a new
Learning for us.
learning for us, and we see how they are fighting, and that's where we feel, yes, lawyers are really, some of them like Mr. Garat, and we are really, we are proud that our country
Yes,
has
yes,
lawyers like
right.
this,
definitely. Yes,
and I have a younger daughter, which we are, she's given her 10th, and we want her to pursue a law. She's been, since this has happened, it is equally very, very disturbing for her too. And she's been telling us, mommy, take me to the court, mommy, take me to the court. It is not easy. Like sir said, it is not for a child, it is not easy. But
Right,
this time, since we've been there in the arguments, I cannot stand, so I can't expect my child. But
yeah,
when the orders were to be passed, that is the time I got her to the court, because I knew there would be no arguments, just
right,
a reject, or and
Accept.
I was, after hearing sir, I'm telling you, Minaji, I was 200% sure this is reject. So I
yeah,
wanted to see that. I wanted her to have a positive impact on her, that the system is not corrupt.
yeah, yeah,
The
Justice,
judges are
justice.
good and judges are there. We have good lawyers. I made her meet sir also, and my other lawyers also. So because this was my last chance to get her to the court.
yeah,
After this, I cannot get her, because I don't want her to go to the
Trials.
trials and
yeah.
procedures, what's happening. I don't want my child to see that. So
Mm,
this was my last chance, and I was praying, and sir was telling me, Nidhi, don't worry, it's rejected, it's rejected. And when she came and she saw, so she's come back with a positive memory
yeah,
of the court, of the
mm,
system, of the lawyers, what public prosecutors are. So when she's just given a board exam, she's at the threshold of her life. So maybe I showed her the courtrooms. I showed her how, I wanted to have her a positive impact, that
yeah,
our system, there are good people, there are good lawyers. I think our children should have this kind of thing in their mind than people saying corrupt hai, ye hai, wo
yeah.
hai. No.
In fact, Nidhi, you have met my friend Kiran Narayan, who is
Yeah.
also a exceptional advocate from Karnataka, and he also has great admiration for you, sir, Pradeep, sir. And see, you are the
thank
people
you.
who inspire us.
No,
That
no, we've
like
seen him, Meenaji. I
yeah,
cannot tell you. We've seen him, so we know.
So my
so
daughter also just thought that justice will prevail. Now
yeah,
she got that confident in her. She's become
yes,
confident
Definitely.
now. She's become confident, and we are very happy to see her in that phase. Actually, we had tears of happiness in the court itself, but that is the moment. That's a glimpse which, if anyone can take it and anyone can feel inside, you get your goosebumps and all. I think.
Yes. So on that note, sir,
Yeah.
Pradeep ji, both of
Yes.
you, and thank you so much for coming on this show, and also for inspiring us. All our viewers are mostly from abroad, who have given up on many things like SSR case and Disha case. But when they hear you, sir, you have inspired them to think that yes, there are good people also who want justice, and we will get it at all costs. Good night,
I am
sir.
also thankful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
No, no,
also very
Meena
much
ji,
thankful to you.
Meena ji, I want to tell you one thing. We have seen sir sitting for hours with a case with the police officers.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. He's been sitting for 8 hours overnight with the police officers, and
Oh shit.
That is the part of our duty.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
That is the
And
part of our.
yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
please also remember that I will call you once in a while for some advice on our show because
Sure,
you are
sure. You are
speaking so
always
well.
welcome. You are
Yeah.
always welcome, madam. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Good night.
Yes.
Jai Hind.
Good night. Good night. Bye.